left center field. Way back there. How about a walk-off home run? Jeff Francoeur. He is learning to be a hero here in Philadelphia. The Phillies come from behind and they win it 8-7 here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Another series for the Phils, hoping to keep things rolling from the last series where they swept out the Miami Marlins. Tonight, they're back into interleague play. Now, aside from the 2008 World Series, they've had a tough time with the Tampa Bay Rays. It's game one of a three-game set. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. Everybody feeling pretty good about yesterday's victory, including Jeff Francoeur. Pete McKinnon said after the game yesterday, he goes, I think I'm going to have to put him in the lineup. Now, his numbers have been great when he doesn't start, but he does get a chance to start against lefty tonight.
Well, I think he made that decision yesterday, knowing that Matt Moore was on the mound today, being a left-hander, and having a very good last couple of days coming off the bench. And, yesterday it was nice, but 2 days ago, the pinch hit home run coming in here, taking that awkward swing and putting the bat on the ball, really. I mean, that's the biggest thing you need to do. He's the guy you know what you're going to get when he comes off the bench. He's going to be able to swing it. Here yesterday, double switch, he comes in, hits a line drive to right field, scores a little later. Then all of a sudden, of course, the walk-off, he hits it, he knows it. Very important guy to have on the team. One is a guy, he knows his role, and that's the most important thing you want out of a guy. When he has a chance to play once in a while, he never gives you a hard time. He's a guy that is a leader on the field and off the field. Is a guy that they look up to. And I was talking about the numbers, and very impressive numbers, 364 average, but the number that jumps out to me is the go-ahead RBIs. That's a guy that's not afraid to hit with guys in scoring position to come off the bench, has big shoulders, doesn't mind striking out. You know he's going to swing us some pitches out of the zone. But one thing he does, he goes out and he battles day in and day out. He does not complain. When he's asked to pinch hit, he will pinch hit. He goes in for a defensive replacement. All of a sudden he gets a chance like yesterday to win the game.
Yep.
Those are the guys you need on your team.
Well, it'd be nice to keep him with this team as the season moves on. Now, he is the only guy that has numbers against tonight's starter for the Tampa Bay Rays, and that's Matt Moore. Now, this Rays team has been kind of up and down. They've found themselves in first place for 27 days this year, but currently 4.5 games out. This is the farthest they've been out of first place in the American League East, but it is still very tight. What's going on with the Rays, Matt?
Well, I think it's safe to say they're inconsistent. They get on a roll, but they're doing very well. They've got tremendous pitching. Last 6 games, they're 4-2. Look at the bullpen's ERA at 1.40. Previous 12, 1-11 with a 7.85 ERA.
Wow.
They have had 2 stints this year of 18 games where they went 14-4. Then the next 18 games they went 3-15. So they've had a hard time pitching-wise. They went into Kansas City and gave up 33 runs in a 4-game series. When they're throwing strikes, they're giving up a lot of home runs. The Rays will hit some home runs,
right?
But their pitching is the most important thing. When their bullpen has that high of an ERA and their starters aren't going deep in the game, makes for a long series.
Well, Matt Moore is just off the disabled list from Tommy John surgery. He'll be on the mound for the Rays tonight. He'll be opposed by David Buchanan, making his 7th start of the season. When we return to Red Hot Citizens Bank Park, we'll have the lineups and the first pitch. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. By Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IVX.com. Mark trying to pick up his first victory of the 2015 season, just his second appearance since coming back from the minor leagues. On a hot night here in Philadelphia, let's take a look at the Rays lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Phillies. Sizemore leads it off in right field. Yeah, Grady Sizemore. Logan Forsythe bats second. Evan Longoria third. Then Loney, DeJesus, and Beckham, followed by Kiermaier, Casali, and Matt Moore. And yes, indeed, David Buchanan 0-5 on the year, an earned run average of 7.58. Really did pitch well. Gave up 3 extra base hits in his first outing back from the minor leagues, Matt. As he said the other day, my next step is to try to go deeper into the game.
Well, and we'd like to see him go deeper. And I think with his last start, he relaxed. I thought he put a lot of pressure on himself earlier in the season. And you can see the Budweiser scouting report. 4-pitch pitcher. His average fastball is 89.3 miles an hour. His average cutter is 88.4, which means it's a true cutter, left and right, not like a slider. So he should have a pretty good job of trying to get on the left-handed hitters.
Well, Grady Sizemore will lead it off. Sizemore hitting .204 as a member of the Rays, designated for assignment by the Phillies, elected free agency, and after a couple weeks signed with the Tampa Bay Rays and made his way back to the big leagues. That one's hit back toward the middle, and he is aboard to start the top of the first.
Well, it's time for our Nissan keys to the game, and my first key for me is David Buchanan has to figure out his fastball versus lefties and righties. Prior to that hit right there, Lake's hitting .417 versus his fastball. And the second key is more. Make him throw strikes. He's a guy that can paint you away with the fastball, throw the next to the backstop, and then hit you in the butt. So you got to make him throw strikes.
Logan Forsythe is the batter. Forsythe 4 for 9 in the series against the Rays, or against the Blue Jays. That pitch just missed. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Scott Barry is the home plate umpire, and I'll tell you what, both pitchers are going to want that pitch. Forsythe overall hitting .279, 9 homers and 36 runs batted in. Scott Barry's behind the plate. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, is at first. Chris Conroy at second, and Gabe Morales around at third. 2 balls, no strikes to Forsythe. Inside 3-0. Evan Longoria is the on-deck hitter for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's the foundation piece offensively for the Rays franchise. Forsythe taking all the way. It's 3-1.
When David gets in trouble with his fastball, he tries to aim instead of throwing it through the glove. And if you watch his head, sometimes it snaps real hard to the left. That's when he pulls the fastball out of the zone.
Yeah, and that's something that he said that he had worked on in AAA, but we saw it the other day in the game against San Francisco as he issues a walk. Walks were a big problem for him his first go-around in the Phillies uniform. Bob McClure knows that.
Which is amazing.
Because he didn't walk anybody in spring training until the exhibition game.
One guy against Pittsburgh in the exhibition series.
Well, now Longoria, who is 2 for his last 20 and 1 for 11 in the series against the Blue Jays, but still, I would think the most dangerous hitter in the Rays lineup. Swing and a miss. There are 5 players, 4 with the Phillies, 1 with the Rays, who was around during the 2008 World Series. Longoria is one of those 5. Out to right field. Jeff Francoeur started in. Now he goes back, makes the catch. Tagging from second is Sizemore. He'll go to third. So the Rays will have runners on first and third with 1 man down.
Well, that's a veteran hitter right there, knowing that he has to hit the ball to right field. And even though it's first and second, man on second base with no out, your job is to drive the ball to right field and advance that runner to third base.
Well, now the job is for Buchanan to try to roll a double play ball, if he can, to James Loney. Loney's been very steady defensively for the Rays this year, and that's nothing new. Offensively, it's kind of a down year compared to other seasons with Tampa, but he's been a solid pickup for them. He's been on the disabled list 2 different times this year. The most recent time with a left middle finger fracture. Popped him up. This may be playable. Rupp off with the mask, has room, 2 outs. That's huge.
I saw Cameron Rupp sitting inside, and I thought, okay, let's see what kind of cutter he's going to throw here. This is not a cutter. This is a 2-seam fastball. They tried to front door it and just jammed him. Usually you don't get jammed on a front door sinker that's coming back towards your barrel, but it was elevated high enough to where he couldn't get the barrel to it.
Now 2 outs, and David DeJesus, who was 0 for 6 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Overall hitting .266. Not a bad year. 5 home runs. Takes high. It's 1-0.
Not a bad year for a guy that when they left spring training they weren't sure what to do with him.
It is remarkable, though, and this is the case for any team. Injuries kind of open up opportunities for everybody.
Big time. Well, especially for David DeJesus and Forsythe.
Yeah, Logan Forsythe's got a career high in games played. 1 ball, no strikes. Way outside, 2-0. Well, you don't want to fall behind somebody like DeJesus and put him in a hitter's count. Matt already talked about the left-handers, because now you're in a hitter's count, and the fastball has been the big problem for David Buchanan. Up high, 3-0. Well, you don't want to put anybody on in the first inning, but it wouldn't be the worst thing to face Beckham instead of David DeJesus.
I would agree.
Runners lead off, 3 balls, 1 strike. Outside, ball 4. Well, that's 2 walks in the inning. The bases are loaded. And here comes Tim Beckham, former #1 pick for the Tampa Bay Rays. Took a while to get up to the big leagues. In fact, he just got back again from the minor leagues when his Drupal Cabrera went down with an injury. .222, 5 homers, 16 RBIs. He'll bat with Sizemore at third, Forsythe at second base, and David DeJesus over at first.
You know, I've never seen Beckham play before, but by looking at him, I'm going to say he has a very free swing and a powerful swing.
I think that's what they projected him to have. He threw him a changeup, and it's 0-1. Tampa Bay is 13th in the American League in runs scored. But they're putting a little pressure on David Buchanan right out of the chute here in the first.
Good time for a sac fly right here.
Oh, he crossed up Rupp, I think. Well, maybe not. Rupp looked like he was getting up, thinking that pitch was high, and it curved.
At first I thought it was, but he got crossed up.
He got crossed up. Kevin Cash, the first-year manager of the Rays. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Well, that was the cutter from David Buchanan. And it's the first one he's thrown in this game, but it's the exact same velocity of his fastball. Just a little movement, a little lane changer.
Nice. Lane changer. Now we need to change it for the bat misser.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners lead off. Swing and a miss. He got him. Back-to-back cutters. Picked a good time for his first strikeout as the Rays leave him loaded here in the top of the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 men left, and a dandy of a cutter right at the ends. We'll go to the bottom of the first in a scoreless ball game. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Hernandez leads it off. Ben Revere bats second. Maikel Franco will hit third, followed by Jeff Francoeur and Darren Ruff. Freddie Galvis, the shortstop, bats sixth. In the bottom third of Herrera, Rupp, and Buchanan will face 26-year-old left-hander Matt Moore. He was a 17-game winner 2 years ago, and then last year had a partial tear to his UCL. And it led to Tommy John surgery, and this is just his 4th start back after that surgery.
Well, it's his 4th start back, and his velocity has dropped quite a bit by about 4 miles an hour. You can see the Budweiser scouting report. Average velocity now at 91. 2014, his best pitch was his changeup. The league was hitting 111 versus it. This year, the league is hitting 375, which tells me he is throwing too much plate when he throws his changeup.
Hernandez bunts foul to start things off. It's 0-1.
Hitting too much plate, I mean.
Yeah, and I guess with his velocity down, maybe there's not much of a difference between fastball and changeup velocity-wise.
Right, and I talked to Brian Anderson, the Rays announcer, and he was talking about, with that velocity down, he used to be able to throw that high elevated fastball. He can't do it anymore.
There is that elevated fastball, but it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian Anderson's to your left. Nice hairdo. Dwayne Statz to your right. As Hernandez fouls it back to the Hall of Fame club.
Brian Anderson, 3 Tommy Johns.
Well, it's interesting. Matt Moore is just the 5th Rays pitcher, or was the 5th Rays pitcher to undergo Tommy John surgery, the history of their franchise. Alex Cobb was the 6th. That was most recent. But he's only the 2nd homegrown guy to go through it. I mean, it's amazing that we say that. There's been over 500 Tommy John surgeries and counting in baseball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cesar Hernandez. Chopper foul. Look out, Juan Samuel.
He didn't know which way to go.
Used to be, we just field those. Inside, 2-2. Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Dolores Los of Chalfont. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Dolores will win $100. Center field, playable for Kiermaier. And he makes the catch after an 8-pitch at bat. And with one out, Ben Revere's coming up. Well, I guess that's part of your key. Make him work.
Get him down in the zone, make him throw strikes. Like you said, Tom, he's coming back off his Tommy John surgery. This is his 4th start. His last outing he threw 88 pitches, so.
And Revere takes a strike. It's 0-1.
You know, Matt Moore throws hard, and he's a left-hander, of course, but where he stands on the mound, he stands on the third base side, which is an advantage for left-handers because you don't feel crowded. If he's going to throw a fastball inside, it's going to have to be a 2-seam fastball that actually is going to come across towards the barrel. Right-handers are going to feel a little more crowded because you stand outside of the right. So you can see he stands on the third base side. So when he throws his curveball, he almost has to throw it at a left-hander or behind you to hit the inside corner.
Topper back toward the mound. Moore makes a nice play. There are 2 outs. Yeah, you bring that up. That's kind of interesting that you would see that. You know, because I would think a lefty wants to take away the left-handed hitter as best he can.
Right. You know, and Diekman, he stands on the first base side. You know, it's something for a left-hander. You don't feel as crowded because you feel like he's not thrown behind you. You know, now all of a sudden with the lefty, it's a little different lefty on righty because he still has to throw across his body against a right-hander. But for a left-hander, you feel comfortable knowing that everything he throws is going to be coming towards your barrel.
Well, they put a shift on for Maikel Franco. 3 infielders on the left side. 279, 10 homers, 34 runs batted in. Way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a backstop pitch.
I was going to say. Inside. Well, he was geared up for something, and he got a changeup that was he just ran out of bat basically.
All set up by the pitch before. At 94 inside, you have to cheat a little bit to get to it. Pulls the string on a nice changeup.
2 balls, 2 strikes now to Franco. Gets it fouled on the right field line. Maikel has gone 21 games since his last home run. Now during that span, he's been a productive player for the Phils, but he's hitting only .212. He's been getting some walks, but he's due to go yard at some point. Swing and a miss. Not here. First strikeout for Matt Moore. A 1-2-3 bottom of the first. So a 19-pitch inning for Moore. Phillies go down in order, and we'll head to the second. we've got a facility for you to get some exercise. Come out to see the Phils and the Rays. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Kevin Kiermaier will lead things off, and he hits the first pitch foul. Kiermaier hitting .247. He has 4 homers and 16 runs batted in. This guy could fly. We saw him during spring training.
Just about to say that.
A little jumpy there, and it's 0-2.
They say that, did you have 16 doubles this year?
18.
18 doubles. Out of those 18 doubles, 12 of them have come on ground balls to the outfielders where they catch people sleeping.
Boy, he's 18 doubles and also 9 triples. 9 triples is a lot of triples at this point in the year. That's good, though. You need somebody like that to kind of put pressure on the opposition if you're an offense. Ground ball hits the bag. Watch out. This may be what you're talking about. Kiermaier's already around first, heading to second, and he'll get there. 19 doubles for Kiermaier. So he's in scoring position. And Kirk Casale's coming up.
Off-speed pitch right down and right off the bag. So they probably got a break by hitting the bag, because if that got down the right-hand corner, and I don't care how good of a defensive player Frenchie is, that man would have been on third base.
Yeah, his 9 triples lead the American League. Casale hitting .242, couple home runs, 4 runs batted in. Ground ball to short. Kiermaier back to second base. And Freddie throws out Casale. One away. Matt Moore is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, an injury update, a couple of injury updates coming from the Phillies today. The first being about starting pitcher Chad Billingsley, who pitched a shortened outing on Saturday. He was removed from the game a little bit early, and word is now that, yes, he is indeed experiencing some pain in that elbow, that flexor tendon. Ruben Amaro Jr. telling reporters today that he's experiencing some tingling in his fingers, and he does have pain near that flexor tendon. They're awaiting some more tests, but it does look like Chad Billingsley once again is going to end up on the disabled list. And Ruben Amaro Jr. said it could very well be season-ending injury for Chad Billingsley, so not good news for them. On the flip side, Aaron Harang was out on the field today, throwing in a simulated game to some live BP before today's game. Next step for him as he recovers from that plantar fasciitis is a rehab start for him. So he is moving in the right direction, and there is hopeful that sooner rather than later, Aaron Harang will be back in that rotation. And Jerome Williams, who is pitching right now without any pain down in the minor leagues, is also a candidate to fill that rotation spot if indeed Chad Billingsley has to go on the DL, guys.
Yeah, he did throw a bullpen today as that ball is bunted toward the third base side. Franco throws out Moore. That'll go down as a sacrifice. 5-4 on the putout. Jerome threw a bullpen today. I asked him yesterday, I said, how you feeling? He said, good. I said, when do you think you're going to be back? He said, I don't know. I asked him if he was going to throw one more rehab assignment, Murph, and he said he didn't know yet. So the bullpen today, I guess, will dictate that.
I think that'll be part of it, and I also think the news on Chad will certainly.
It's very true.
It's going to dictate. They're going to need somebody. Although they do have 2 off days coming up, an off day on Thursday and an off day again on the road on Monday, so they can play around with perhaps a 4-man rotation for the next week and a half or so. So they'll take all those things into consideration. Pete Buchanan said today no decisions have been made on what they'll do with their rotation. So it remains to be seen. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, because he did casually mention that Hamels could pitch Friday in Chicago, but that's remains to be seen. All right, Murph, how are your legs?
My legs are wobbly. A little wobbly, but getting stronger every minute.
2 balls and no strikes. Well,
so are you going to do a hit up in the third deck today?
Only if I can take the elevator, because I won't make it. Trust me. I'm going to do the rest of them sitting down if it's all right.
You have to stand the whole game, Murph.
Come join us.
Ooh, good changeup. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Murph, what was the official time of your biking yesterday?
Well, I honestly don't know how long it took. I got down there around a little bit after noon, so some 5 hours and a couple of minutes, something like that, which is fine. I got there. So I didn't win, if that's what you're asking.
Do you have any cheeseburgers on the way?
No cheeseburgers. A couple peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, though, along the way.
3 balls and 1 strikes. We were talking about the pillar of Bud Light that you were standing on when you did your emceeing. You were right at home.
That's right. Felt very, very natural.
Question is, was that at the finish line when you got there?
There was plenty of that as well.
Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
3-1 pitch to Sizemore, and he takes a strike. It's 3-2. Runner at third, 2 men down here in the top of the second. Phillies in the Rays. Game 1 of a 3-game series. Grady Sizemore singled his first time up. There's Murph on the pillar of Bud Light. Buchanan set, so is Sizemore. And he stays alive, feathers it over the screen behind home plate. Kiermaier, who doubled to start the inning, over at third. All 4. So Sizemore has been up 2 straight innings, and he's been on base both of those innings, and that'll bring Logan Forsythe to the plate. Grady Sizemore, I know he didn't accomplish a whole lot in the Phillies uniform, but what a great guy. And during his heyday, as we always said, had magnificent numbers with the Cleveland Indians. One of the best outfielders in all baseball when he was in his prime.
Absolutely. One of the dangerous ones. Doubles, home runs, playing tremendous defense, steal you a base.
Forsythe walked his first time up. 3 walks now issued by Buchanan. Inside 1-0. Well, that was a little high. Listed as a cutter at 87. Buchanan is hoping that his starting pitcher can go deep in this ball game because they haven't done that the last 2 days. He's really had a bird in the bullpen, which really has come out of it in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Well, thankfully they had 4 days off during the All-Star break.
Very true. 2-1 pitch. Out toward left center field. This is going to give the Rays the lead. Whether it's 1 or 2 depends on how this ball is played off the wall. Sizemore's around third heading for home. And he's going to score. It's a 2-run double. So the Tampa Bay Rays take an early lead. They're not a very good offensive team, but they obviously have had very good opportunities these first 2 innings.
Yeah, and this is an off-speed pitch. Cutter right down the middle of the plate. A little lack of communication right here from the 2 outfielders, but still wouldn't have scored. But it's so important to get ahead in that first pitch. 2-out walk.
Longoria takes a strike. It's 0-1. Cameron Rupp out to talk to Buchanan. Well, he's got to figure it out here, and I know he knows that. Last outing, he went 5 innings. He did allow 8 hits. We said 3 extra base hits. He left with a 4-1 lead. Phillies wound up losing that ball game. Chopper back toward the middle. Hernandez was shaded that way, so he makes the play. Side is retired, but 2 runs do score. 4-3, by the way, on the putout there. 2 runs do score on 2 doubles and a walk. We'll head to the bottom of the second. 2014 draft pick Aaron Nola prepares for his debut. Wake up to Breakfast on Broad, presented by Virtua Joint Replacement Institute. Weekday mornings from 6 until 8 over on the Comcast Network. Corey Seidman from CSNPhilly.com, who has seen Aaron pitch in person, will be on. Mark Eckel will also be on, sports writer for the Times of Trenton. Talk a little football. And Dominique Wilkins will also be on, former NBA star.
What a game Frenchie had last night for 2 innings. Sat in the bench the whole time, came in for a replacement. All he did was went 2 for 2 with a game-winning home run.
Yeah, we ran those numbers during the Open, what his numbers are when he's put in as a pinch hitter or as a defensive replacement. He's hitting .364 with 3 homers. And overall, 8 homers and 31 runs batted in. Inside 2-0.
Guys that you need off the bench. Because he can come off the bench, he might strike out, may not. He is not going to lose any sleep over it because he knows the next day he's going to get another opportunity.
That one's back to our right. And then it bounces right down into the diamond club. Two balls, 2 strikes to Frank Coor. You know, it's interesting you say that. I wonder, and without asking Jeff, I don't know, but as a player, how long does it take you to realize that? Do you know what I mean? That if you fail, you're going to have another chance the next day or sometime in the next couple of days. There's that ball back to the backstop.
You know, and that'd be a good question to ask him. I mean, it really would be. I mean, honestly, I think that when you're playing every day and you go 0 for 4, yeah, you can go home and you can sleep well because you know you're going to have 4 bats tomorrow. Some guys cannot do it. Some guys cannot come off the bench, strike out, and not take the bat home with them. As soon as you do that door, game's over. There's nothing you can do. You've already broke everything.
Here's Darren Ruff, hitting .229 on the year with 4 homers. Takes inside 1-0. Yesterday, the Phillies fell behind 2-0 in the top of the second, and then in the bottom of the second, they put a 5 spot up on the Miami Marlins. It may have been ball 2. It was hit sharply, but it's a foul ball off to the right. For the series, the Phillies were 8 for 23 with runners in scoring position, which is far and away better than what they had been. Yeah, that was probably ball 2.
Probably ball 2, but I like the approach of trying to hit that hole at first base. Darren hasn't had an at-bat since, what, San Francisco?
Yeah.
So his timing's off a little bit. Let the ball get deep. Hit it to right field.
Well, this is a tight strike zone tonight. I'm not saying that was a strike, but the one before that was an awfully good pitch. 3 balls, 1 strike. Well, the brew took a beating, but everybody else is okay. The beer, well, the beer's all shook up.
So you better wait before you open it.
It hit the side of the beer bottle.
And his finger.
And his finger. Ball 4, and the Phillies have runners on first and second. Back-to-back walks issued by Moore. Here we go. Look out, beer bottle.
Well, I guess the cover was off on it. Look at him.
Outstanding. Somebody give him a fresh beer. Take a look at that finger, hoping it's not broken. Speaking of broken, somebody sent a message to Tag Davis that it's time to stay in the house and put some bubble wrap around you. Ben's son, who's got a broken nose and a broken finger.
And a finger.
Yeah. All in a couple days. Pitches inside 1-0. Freddie Galvis is hitting .346 against left-handed pitching so far this year. Corners are pinching just a little bit with runners on first and second. When he fouls it back, it's 1-1. He went fishing a little bit there. It's 1-2. This is Freddie yesterday. He got into one left-handed.
That he did. Fastball down that happy zone for a left-hander. Knew he got it. What, 409 feet.
409.
Last two swings, especially that one right there. That's a swing to protect the zone, but I want to hit the ball to right field to do my job.
That one's back toward us and out of play, and it remains 1-2. Matt Moore is not on any significant pitch count, this being his fourth start in the big leagues since rehab, but he did make some starts down in the minor leagues. They said it's nothing out of the ordinary as far as his pitch count goes for tonight. 35 pitches with nobody out here in the second. 2-2. Kevin Cash, though, is hoping that he's close to finding some command. Matt said before the surgery he was sometimes all over the place. After the surgery, sometimes a little erratic. He's walked 2 in this inning, and now it's 3-2 to Galvis. Fly ball, shallow right field. Sizemore has it sized up. And one away. It's the second 8-pitch at bat of the night, but the second time it results in a fly ball. All right, so Odubel Herrera's coming up. He's had a good couple of days off the bench. 20 doubles for Odubel. That not only leads all National League rookies, but it puts him among the league leaders in the National League. And he bunts toward third. Oh, that's a beauty. They got no chance. More of a chance than I thought. But turns out it was no chance. Excellent bunt. Bases are loaded. Cameron Rupp is coming up. You okay with that, Matt, with the number 8 batter coming up?
I don't mind. Bases loaded. It might be a little different if it was man on first. But, I mean, this is a perfect bunt. If they're going to give it to you, go right ahead. I'll tell you what, he made this. Longoria made an awful nice play.
Really did. a perennial Gold Glover over third base, and he showed why. Very crisp coming in with his trot to bare hand. There's Cameron up. See his numbers against lefties hitting over 340. Inside 1-0.
And the reason why, Tom, I don't have a problem with this, first and second, 1 out. Herrera pops one up. Now all of a sudden you have first and second, 2 out. And let's say that Cameron hits a deep fly ball. And now at least you have a sacrifice. Get one across on the board. Less pressure on Cameron. They're up to get a base hit. Plus, I mean, Buchanan can hit, so.
Well, the ratio is not good for Moore in this inning or overall. 23 pitches this inning, 13 balls. 2 balls, no strikes. He just got himself out. 2 outs. That was probably ball 3. So now bases loaded, and they will leave it to Buchanan. Hey, stranger things have happened, Matt Stairs. David 1 for 7 so far this season. But one was a double. Check swing, and here comes Frank Corey. He's going to try to score. The flip is dropped by Moore, and the Phils are on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game. And Jeff may have hurt his hand on that slide to the plate. He's looking at it. I think Moore may have stepped on his hands. Look at the reaction from the crowd. How about this? Rightfully so. A wild pitch. He led the American League in wild pitches 2 years ago, and he uncorks one right there.
You're being aggressive with your pitcher up. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Bases loaded. Has a tremendous secondary lead. Good throw. He's probably up, but right
there.
He stepped on his left hand.
2 balls, 1 strike. It's a 2-1 game. Inside 3-1. All right, would you be aggressive with your take here? If you're Buchanan, would you take another one?
Absolutely. I would. I mean, it's a guy who can he throw 2 strikes in a row?
Nope. Third walk. Bases are loaded again, and here comes Cesar Hernandez. Well, Jim Hickey, who's been a long-time pitching coach for the Rays, is going to head out. I guess they feel like, they have to give Moore a little bit of a leash as he comes back from Tommy John surgery. They anticipated he was going to be one of their aces, along with David Price last year before Price was traded, and before Moore went down with the Tommy John surgery.
That's a good point, Tom. I mean, he's thrown 4 games, minus a couple of games in the rehab, but 4 games in over a year.
Yeah, he only threw 2 games last year before he had the partial tear.
So you definitely have to have patience with him.
There's the dented beer. Keepsake. Oh, isn't that nice? And Matt will take the discarded can, or bottle, I should say. Yes, fresh beer. That one's ripped into left field. It's a fresh swing for Cesar Hernandez. 2 runs will score. Buchanan's on his way to third. It's a 2-run double, and the Phillies take the lead. Boy, Cesar was aggressive, thinking, mound trip, 3 walks. He's going to try to groove one.
Well, he was aggressive on the first pitch, knowing bases loaded, you want to get ahead. Does a nice job of getting the barrel up and driving it to left field. I like it. He's being aggressive. It's a fastball inner half. But I see David Buchanan going from first to third, though.
Well, still 2 in scoring position. Here's Ben Revere. And he takes a breaking ball. It's 0-1. We haven't seen many curve balls.
For strikes.
Well, that's true. A lot of them have been up in the zone.
Yeah. How quick this inning turned around, huh?
Amazing. And there's a lot of reasons why. The walks are the big reason why.
Yeah, but you figure you're going bases loaded, bases loaded, 2 out, facing the pitcher. Next thing you throw your wild pitch, you walk the pitcher, double. Now you've given up a 3 spot.
Yeah, Francoeur coming home from third.
Yeah.
He took a chance, but it really energized things too. That was a hanger, fouled away.
Same guy?
I was just saying we can't get him another beer. Well, maybe we could. One-two pitch to Revere. Outside, 2-2. Pitches this inning. There's going to have to come a point where they're going to have to get somebody up in the bullpen, if only because he's coming back from Tommy John surgery. That's a lot. There we go. Jim Hickey's going to the phone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Out towards center field. Kiermaier got a late start, but he'll recover. And the side is retired. 8 men come to the plate in the inning. The Phillies score 3 runs. The aggressiveness of Jeff Francoeur. This is how the inning started, by that gentleman and his beer taking one for the team. And then Jeff Francoeur, you can give him a cold one after the aggressiveness on that. And after the walk to David Buchanan, a double by Cesar Hernandez, and a fresh brew. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, here's the question, and I'm glad you're back to hear it.
Thank you.
What player is the all-time leader in games played for Tampa with 1,235? 1,235. Answer will be revealed a little later on. James Loney will lead it off.
He's not him.
Right, he was with the Dodgers for a while.
So it'd have to be a guy who's been around since the franchise or been around for quite a while, huh?
Yeah. Pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Loney popped out to Rupp his first time up. Big part of that first inning. Out to right field, Francoeur. And 1 away for David DeJesus.
So is this player, is he still active or is he retired?
He's active. Okay. Well, he's on the active roster. He's on an active roster. I think if you asked me tomorrow, I would probably tell you that he's active. But today, he's on an active roster, active 40-man roster.
Huh?
Good. I've successfully confused you. David DeJesus walked his first time up. On the outside corner by Buchanan, 0-1.
I think you confused yourself on that one.
No, I got it.
He's on an active 40-man roster.
Correct.
But not on a 25-man roster.
Correct. Popped him up. Franco says he has it, so Buchanan gets out of the way. 2 outs. Well, Alumni Weekend will be here before you know it. In fact, after the Phillies get off this next road trip, they'll play the Braves in a 4-game series. 3 of those 4 part of Alumni Weekend, brought to you by Toyota. The Pat Burrell Wall of Fame induction ceremony will take place on Friday, July 31st. Saturday the 1st is Alumni Night, and then Sunday the 2nd, Phillies Wall of Fame Fathead, free to all fans. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Tim Beckham will be the hitter with 2 men down.
I'd rather see David Buchanan go out and throw strikes. If he gives up a solo home run, so be it. He's had an easy inning so far. Go out there and make him put the ball in play.
Yeah, I don't know if he's trying to nibble, but it does look like he's nibbling, right?
Well, honestly, he's got a very good changeup tonight.
Yeah, that you just saw it.
Very good changeup. His fastball just looks like he's trying to guide it too much. And that's why he's missing so bad, is because his whole motion's slowing down, and it looks like he's just trying to guide it into the glove. Oh, if you hit the backstop, who cares?
1 ball, 2 strikes. Fly ball to right field. Jeff Francoeur for his 2nd attempt in this inning.
Good inning.
Very good inning for David Buchanan. After the Phillies get him 3, he throws up a 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. 3-2. Phil's on top. Cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. Bottom of the third. It'll be Mike Franco, Jeff Francoeur, Darren Ruff. Matt Moore back to work after a 36-pitch second inning, in which he threw 19 balls, 17 strikes. I got Matt Stairs so stumped, or I should say John DeSangro has Matt Stairs so stumped on our Chief Stump the Fans trivia question. You've written down B.J. Upton, and you're in the right area. Franco takes inside, 1-0.
Right area.
Yeah.
I mean, that covers a lot of his right-handed hitter. He's an outfielder.
Well, that's why I said you're in the right area. I'm sort of covering a lot of bases here. Out of play. Upton played with this guy, I'll tell you that, and was an outfielder with this guy. I should say this guy was an outfielder with Upton.
Oh, I know where I know.
Liner out toward left field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. A one hop off the wall. Franco around first. He's trying to get to second. He's going to be out by a mile. Now, the play was in front of him. I can't imagine that Sammy was saying go.
Well, I mean, he does a nice job of hitting the ball down the left field line, but like you said, Tom, the play is in front of him. And that might be the easiest assist an outfielder gets.
Francoeur hits it foul off the third base side. But it's 0-1. Mike Franco is gifted with a lot of things. And he's going to have a wonderful career. He's not the fastest cat out there. 0-2. But it was nice to see him hit it hard. Francoeur off the end of the bat has a base hit. That man is currently playing the game with an awful lot of confidence. Tell you the Major League Scoreboard, the Mets and the Nationals are battling, and the Nationals lead it 2-0. Game's down in D.C. The Mets won an 18-inning game yesterday, so they pulled to within 2. So this series is a big one. That's a big one for both of them. For the Nationals to try to give themselves some breathing room. For New York, trying to give itself a shot at first place. Ruff chops it to short. This is going to wind up being 2. And the inning is over. 6-4-3 double play. No runs, 2 hits, and nobody left. Kind of an odd line. We'll head to the 4th. It's a 3-2 Phillies lead. Bullard, one of the members of the Harlem Globetrotters, the great Harlem Globetrotters, who will be in Wildwood in the coming weeks. And he was out on the mound. I thought he was going to throw the basketball, but he decided to throw the baseball to the Fanatics, so he was part of the ceremonial first pitch. The Detroit native, very athletic, was twirling that basketball around, and now he's with Murph.
Yeah, you know what, Tom? You say very athletic, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. But say hello to Bull Bullard, and welcome to Philadelphia. And you guys are going to be performing at 90 years. The Harlem Globetrotters. That's amazing.
I've been on a team for 90 years. Can you do that?
You look great. You really do.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
It has to be a thrill to be a part of what something that is really part of American folklore at this point.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're going into our 90th season coming up. I'm on a team going into my 8th year, and every year has been getting better and better and better, man. We're going to be playing down in Wildwood at the Convention Center July 29th through August 1st, so we encourage everybody to come out.
You're going to play down the shore, so why not head down the shore and show the folks on the beach some of your skills? I think we have some video of that. You did that earlier this week. You talked to some of the kids, and then you did some trick shots. This is pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. I went down there. That shot right there maybe took me like 4 or 5 tries. But I had a difficult shot where I had to throw it backwards over my head. It took me a little bit longer. And another shot took like 4 or 5 tries. But, I mean, that's just perfecting your craft. You know, we're here at the game watching these guys do their best out there. And when you come to our game, that's what you're going to get from us.
Well, Tom mentioned in the introduction that you have quite an athletic background. Now, you didn't start playing basketball till what? You were like 13?
Yeah, I was 13 years old. That's when I started playing basketball, and I fell in love with the sport. But that was the only thing that I played. But I was always an athletic kid. I taught myself how to do backflips. I knew I was always athletic. So playing basketball was just like second nature once I got to start picking it up and everything like that. So it was fun, and I love it now.
But out of college, you decided to try a different sport. The New York Jets gave you a phone call.
Yeah, they gave me a phone call out of nowhere. So, I mean, nothing to take away from that. It was a great experience. It was a good experience for me. It looks real good for me. You know, it shows athleticism, you know. And before that, I was in the 2008 NCAA College Slam Dunk Contest. I came in second. Then the Jets called me. Then the Harlem Globetrotters called me. And
not to forget now that one of the hottest things in all of sports right now is the American Ninja competition. And you did pretty well on that, too.
Yeah, my first year I did do pretty good on that. And the past 2 years I got disqualified because I fell. But American Ninja Warrior is just something that I love to do. It's just one of those things you get out there. I get to be a big kid when I'm out there running a course. So I love it, and I love doing it.
Well, we all know how great the Harlem Globetrotters are. I'm sure most of our audience has seen you guys in action. Tell us again how we can catch you when you're coming up here in Wildwood.
Ticketmaster.com or HarlemGlobetrotters.com. We're going to be at the Wildwood Convention Center July 29th through August 1st. Game starts at 7. We have clinics from 10 to 12. So, I mean, hey, you guys come on out.
Come on out and enjoy it. Bull, it's nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you too, my man.
All right, guys, let's send it back to the booth.
Murph, we appreciate that. You know, Big Easy Lofton, who's a member of the Globetrotters, said that going to Wildwood has become a must-stop and a must-play for the Globetrotters, capitalizing on all the folks that are spending some time down on the Jersey Shore. Bull went to University of Texas, or Texas A&M University Corpus Christi, where, as he mentioned, he was the runner-up for the slam dunk competition his senior year. Ground ball foul with 1 out here in the 4th. And at 6'4" and 240 pounds, it's not strange that somebody would say, hey, you might be able to be a tight end. I mean, look at these shots, Matt. I mean, this is...
That was his 4th shot to make that one there. The one here took him in 5 shots. The one from behind his head took 12 minutes.
Incredible. Well, I know growing up, going to see the Globetrotters, you know, Meadowlark Lemon, Curly Neal, Marcus Haynes, who passed away this past year. Guys like that, Sweet Lou Dunbar. I mean, it was something that my dad took us to all the time, and it was funny. Matt Moore sacrificed his first time up. 1 ball, no strikes. One ball, 1 strike to Moore. Tampa's pitchers are 0 for 15 so far this year. Foul ball, and he stays alive. and has never had a professional base hit. Minor leagues, major leagues. Fouling a few pitches off here, though.
I hate to say it, but you might want to throw him a changeup. I know you don't want to speed the bat up.
Yeah.
But you'd spin him right in the dirt.
He tried a fastball. He's fouled 4 balls off. This is a 7-pitch at bat. It's about to be 8 with this one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Drop a hook on him or something here. Buckle him. Ground ball to second base. Hernandez is up with it. Moore. He's not even making an attempt at it. It's a hot night. 7 in a row retired by David Buchanan. Here's Bull Bullard and Matt. He's putting the camera to work. How do they do that? We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Dealer at ChevyDealer.com. And by Jefferson, where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW or visit jefferson.edu. Home half of the 4th inning. It's a hot night. It's been hot the last couple days, everybody knows. But it's very pleasant to be here at the ballpark. Phillies lead at 3-2. Matt Moore made the last out, so he's just finishing up his warm-up tosses. The clock is not coming to play. He's not going to throw his first pitch before it hits 0. Freddie Galvis will lead it off. If you're Matt Moore, you're probably counting your blessings a little bit that you're only down by 1 with all the pitches that he threw back in the second. He threw 36. We mentioned his velocity at the beginning of the telecast, how it's been sitting 91, 92. I don't know if he's hit 93 at all tonight. 4 times? He's at 94 once? Okay. That one's popped up. James Loney, the first baseman, sprints toward the Phillies dugout. Made the catch after bumping into the rail. That is great hand-eye coordination right there. And there's one away.
He's always been a very good first baseman. Even when he was out on the West Coast with the Dodgers. Very slick, very good hands. I gotta believe he lost that battle against the rail, but he made the nice play. The key is you got over there quick and found the rail. Something like, or it found him.
I was going to say it found him. That was a really nice play.
Yeah. See all the Philly players helping him out?
Yep. Well, they put the railing in. Odubel Herrera takes outside. It's 1-0.
Remember back in the old days, they never had the railings out in front? It all started because Mo Vaughn.
Is that where it began?
Yep.
Heck, he could have run through the railings. Would he go crashing into the dugout one day? I don't remember that.
Yeah, he went down, blew his ankle out.
Now it's become standard issue. But you're right. The old vet did not have railings in front. Odubel pops it up. Well, Moore may have found something. 2 outs. Well, we mentioned the velocity, that coming in, velocity had been a big issue. He had been averaging 91, 92. Matt said he hit 94 tonight. He said after his last start, he said, the velocity is a luxury, not a necessity for me at this point. He said, I know it looks good to see it, but I feel like I'm getting closer with my command. And for me, that's the most important thing at this point. And in essence, he went on to say the velocity is going to get there eventually. Cameron Rupp popped out his first time up. That does make sense. I mean, it will get there eventually.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense. You're going to go through some speed bumps on the way because you're so used to being able to blow that fastball, by guys. But if he's throwing 94, living right around 92 the whole game, I can't see him throwing a whole lot harder than that. Yeah, he might touch 95.
One pitch outside.
We talk about his command as well. I mean, over his 5-year career, 361 innings, 172 walks. So he's a guy that.
It's a lot of walks.
Yep.
That one's golfed out towards center. Kiermaier has room, though, on the track, and he makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 fourth inning, so he has a 1-2-3 first, a 1-2-3 fourth. We have 4 in the books here in South Philly. On to the 5th. Phil's up 1. telephoto data strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Top of the fifth inning, and we'll go to the top of the order. Grady Sizemore will face David Buchanan, who's retired 7 straight. See if David can continue this. He's kind of found a little bit of something here. Sizemore has singled. He's also walked. And 1 ball, no strikes here to start him off here in the 5th. And it's even 1-1. Mentioned during the Open that the Rays, who are currently 4.5 games out in the American League East, Yankees lead the way at 50-41. They spent 27 days in first place, which is a shock because Kevin Cash is in his first year as a manager, and they've made some changes. Sizemore singles to left. But they went through the end of June, beginning of July, losing 11 of 12. And it's all part of their streakiness in 2015. Their first 43, 24-19, 0-6, 16-5, 3-15, and 4-2 in their last 6. But Kevin's got to be given a lot of praise for what he's been able to do in his first year. He's 37 years old. His people skills were lauded when he was a coach, most recently with the Cleveland Indians under Terry Francona. That could be 2. Buchanan to second for 1. They got to hurry, and it's just in time to get Forsythe. A 1-6-3 double play. Good hop by Freddie Galvis at second base.
Well, 2 things came out of this very nicely. David Buchanan made a nice catch. But what I liked about it was that he took his time waiting for Freddie Galvis to get there, made a strong throw where he could handle it. And then Freddie Galvis coming up throwing a quick throw to first. A lot of pitchers will get that ball and throw it real quick to second base. He cleared himself off the mound and made a very good throw to second base.
And I don't even know if Sizemore was in reach of the second base bag. I mean, it was pretty close, but Freddie was able to get himself out of that. And it did become an issue. Fly ball center field. Nice job again by David Buchanan. Worked around that leadoff single. Got a double play ball. Threw just 8 pitches, and he's through the 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. Middle of the 5th. Phillies 3, Rays 2. Jet Intelligent toner cartridges print up to 1/3 more pages. Huh. Get yours from who but WB Mason today and experience the difference. Nobody beats WB on HP. Last of the 5th inning, 3-2 game. David Buchanan will stroll to the plate. He walked his only time up, and it was a big one.
Yes, it was.
Led to the Phils 3 runs. And a strike delivered by Moore. I think everybody might have heard Scott Barry say nope.
Scott Barry's strike zone has been consistent the whole night.
Swing and a miss. Buchanan strikes out, and that is number 2 for Matt Moore. Well, it's time now for our Jeep Stump the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. All right, Matt, I think I've given you enough hints for you to get the right answer.
You have.
I gave you too many.
Crawford. Carl Crawford.
Carl Crawford is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. He is scheduled to come off the DL with the Dodgers, which will crowd up their outfield even more. Over 1,200 games with the Tampa Bay Rays. Who'd you say was number 2?
Ben Zorbas.
Joe Madden loved Ben Zobrist because he could play him all these different places. Evan Longoria is there at 1,051.
Melvin Upton Jr., a.k.a. B.J. Upton.
Yeah, he was B.J., though, when he played for the Rays.
Yes.
Cesar is one of the big hits tonight. A 2-run double his last time up. That one's down the right field line, slicing away from Sizemore. That's a fair ball. One hop off the wall. He better be careful. Hernandez could think about 3. He's on his way. Already around the second base bag, and he'll get there standing. A comfortable triple, his 2nd of the year, and it's his 2nd extra base hit of the night.
We talked about it yesterday when he laid that punt down, got him going a little bit, does a nice job, gets the ball deep in the zone, hits down the right field line, and did not really kick it in gear until he got around first base. Good speed right there.
That's a good sign that he's starting to hit again.
And Mike Schmidt had a great key the other day, was that when he was going through when he was swinging the bat well, he was seeing pitches. He saw some pitches the last couple of days. Now he can be aggressive because his timing is back.
Well, here's Ben Revere. The infield is in with 1 man down. Ben is 0 for 2. And he slaps it down the left field line. Is it a fair ball? No. 0-1. That's what 1, 2, and 3 have done in this game. 3 hits in 7 official at-bats. Good pitch. 0-2. Strike 3 called, and Revere's down looking. Second strikeout of the inning for Moore. And that's going to be it for him. They're going to go to the bullpen. 83 pitches. They got a right-hander all warmed up, and Alex Colomé. So Moore is done after 4 2/3. With a runner over at third base, they decide to bring the righty to face the righty. So a pitching change for Tampa. Phillies lead it 3-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Bank Park on Tuesday, August 4th through Thursday, August 6th. 2 night games, and then Thursday the 6th is a 105 day game. Citizens Bank Pride of the Phillies print featuring the Phillies mural, free to all fans. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Don't forget, Nemours Kids Run the Bases will take place after the game on Thursday the 6th. Well, some sights from around Citizens Bank Park. It's a beautiful ballpark, where the Phillies lead at 3-2, trying to win their 4th straight, trying to get a runner home from third. The right-hander Alex Colomé, who started for some of this season for the Rays, now working out of the bullpen. This will be his 17th ball game out of the pen. Cesar Hernandez will take his lead off third.
Alex Colomé, a 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider change, and a cut fastball. Tops out at 95 miles an hour.
I wonder if that plays into Franco's hands here a little bit, having the hard-throwing right-hander. Although he did have a really good swing against Moore in his last at-bat.
That's when he had the stand-up single.
Right. Outside, 2-0. Matt Moore lifted after 4 2/3. Off the end of the bat, it's 2-1. I know he's just coming back from Tommy John surgery, and the Rays are trying to win a game. But I think if you're Matt Moore, you're probably a little disappointed you didn't get a chance to finish this inning, or at least get a batter here to finish this inning.
I would agree. Well, he left, what, 89 pitches?
83.
83 pitches.
36 of those pitches coming in the second. 2-1 pitch. In the air to left field. Going back on it is DeJesus. Back toward the wall. It's off the railing at the top of the fence. He'll stop it first. He gets an RBI, and the Phillies lead it 4-2. And you can close the book on Matt Moore. That run charged to his line. That ball was about a half a foot, I think, away from going out of the ballpark.
Man, he's very lucky that it didn't go off the scoreboard. It's a hanging slider. Just gets it off towards the end of the bat a little bit.
Wow.
just off that part right in there. Whoops. It didn't take very long to get out.
No, it was less than half a foot.
David DeJesus did a nice job playing off that wall.
Well, here's Francoeur now with 2 outs and a runner at first. He'll take outside, 1-0. Francoeur is 1 for 1. He walked and scored his first time up. That's playable if somebody can get to it. And it's Loney, the first baseman, who got to the spot but missed it. Probably go a long time between games when you would see that.
Yeah, he overran it. He gets to the point where he just kind of overruns it a little bit. I don't know if he was kind of looking for help or something.
I think what you said is exactly right. I think he just overran it. Yeah. They do score an E3. It's only his second error of the year. 9 times out of 10, he is going to catch that.
Oh, absolutely.
What a straight back in front of us.
That was a hanging slider.
That young lady right there allowed her seat to do the catching. Inside, 2-2. Fastball at 96 from column A. Ground ball, fair, knocked down by Longoria, picked up out of the air, and he throws wide at first. And it gets away from Loney. Franco will go to third. It's going to be his second error of the inning. And it's the second hit of the night for Jeff Francoeur.
Well, Frenchie gets a base hit out of it, but Longoria does a nice job keeping the ball from going by him, but Loney just kind of took his eyes off the throw to first base and allowed Michael Franco to get to third base.
Yeah, good job by Michael even to recognize that too.
He was watching the play the whole way, which is the key.
Darren Ruff has walked and he's hit it to a double play, trying to get another run home here. The Phillies lead at 4-2. They've scored a run here in the inning. And a liner out toward right, they will get a run home. It's a single for Darren Ruff, bobbled for a moment by Sizemore. Francoeur goes over to third, and Ruff better get back. Oh, no. Darren Ruff got too far off the first base bag. Here comes Francoeur, and he throws his shoulder into the catcher, Casali, and he holds on. And the side is retired. Pete Maccannon's going to come out and come up the stairs. They don't think that there was a path for Francoeur. A run does score on an RBI single by Darren Ruff to make it 5-2. And Pete Maccannon is waiting to decide whether he should challenge Rule 7.13. Did the throw take him into the base path? Well, he was set up where there wasn't a total path for Francoeur. And Jeff did the right thing. He ran into the catcher because you're allowed to at that point. I don't know. It's kind of a gray area. We've seen it go both ways this year.
I was watching Mizerrock walk back from third, and he was pointing towards home plate.
Well, they've got to hurry up and make this decision whether they're going to challenge it or not. I'm not even sure if Ted Barrett's going to allow it at this point. Yeah, they're going to challenge it. They're going to challenge Rule 7.13. Scott Barry wants to make sure what it is.
Right.
Just trying to see if we could hear a little of what they were saying. 1 run is in. We know that. So the Phillies have 5 runs. It's 5-2. They're trying to see if they can get an additional run here. Now, there's 2 things in play here. Did the throw take him in? But even prior to that, was there a path for Francoeur to score? This is before Francoeur gets to the plate. Now, he's pretty tight to the plate.
He is. From there's no lane.
There's no lane, but we've seen it go 2 different ways this year.
Right. That's why I'm going to wait and see what the umpire says.
Yeah, because the one time that we thought it was going to be a violation of 7.13, it was the umpire's discretion that the ball had arrived. See, the ball didn't arrive. Francoeur was only 2 or 3 steps away when Francoeur arrived, but he didn't slide.
Right. Here I see it. This is how I see it. All right, his foot is in foul territory. If you have to hit the catcher,
yeah,
then there's no place to slide.
I would agree with you on that. I mean, they've called him out. They've said there's no violation. We'll get a report. So we've seen it 3 times this year. Once it's gone where there is no path, Ruiz. The other time, we thought there wasn't a path, and they said there was, and the same here. So we'll try to get an explanation. Phillies lead it by 3. We'll go to the 6th. Of the week is hoping to start the second half the way he finished the first. Ben Revere struggled through April, improved in May, then took off through June and the start of July. Getting on base at the top of the lineup is important, and he did so, reaching an on-base percentage of .452 in July heading into the break. Once on base, he continues to cause problems with his feet. Ben's first half success is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Jeff Francoeur is going to need a new uniform after tonight. The thing has been caked with dirt, at least on one side and on the back. James Loney will lead it off as we go to the top of the 6th. 5-2 Phillies on top. First pitch swinging. And Maikel Franco in the infield grass. 1 away. Matt, with all the Rule 7.13 chatter that we've had, I think we're all in agreement that something has to be changed. It's got to go back to the way it used to be, where there's no Rule 7.13.
No,
I think. Anyway.
I agree 100%, Tom. I think we've seen so many different things this year with where we thought what the rule was he was blocked. That play right there, his foot was in foul territory.
Yeah.
Like, do they expect you to be able to slide arm length behind home plate and touch it? Is that a lane?
I guess there's a piece of it. Now, they're leaving a lot of it to the umpire's discretion. Now, in the old days, I would say that was a good play all the way around except for the base running by Ruff.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, really.
I agree. I mean, there's nowhere for him to go. Jeff Francoeur, what is he supposed to do?
There's nowhere for him to go.
Is he supposed to go around this way? No. What he did was perfect. Steamroll your catcher.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Casale, I think catchers try to go to the limit if they can. And he hung on. It's the first time we've seen a collision like that since the rule's been implemented, at least here in Philadelphia. 1-2. David DeJesus has walked. He's also popped out to third. Curve ball that just didn't curve all the way, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Nice changeup.
Yeah, it sure was. Hung on to by Rupp behind the plate. 2 outs. Well, Jeff Francoeur is getting applause from everybody when he goes out to the outfield, when he comes into the dugout. Back when he was in Kansas City, fans used to wear the beads around their neck. You know, Jeff kind of, I guess he supported this. It's kind of like the French Quarter in New Orleans. Well, it looks like some of the Phillies fans are wearing some beads out in right field where Jeff is. I wonder if they would carry him over to left field if he was over there. Based on his nickname, Frenchie.
Who doesn't speak a word of French?
No, not at all. 1 ball, no strikes to Beckham. Diving stop. Franco hops to his feet, has to hurry. Plenty of time. Whoa, man. What an arm by Maikel Franco. A 1-2-3 6th inning topped off by a dazzling defensive play by the Phillies' young third baseman. Not only did he get to it, he hops to his feet fast and then zips the throw across the diamond. Well, this is one you're going to see for the next 24 hours and even beyond. David Buchanan certainly loved it as we finish up the top of the 6th. Official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Budweiser, still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. And by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyattoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. 5-2 Phillies on top. We'll move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Colomé still in for the Rays. Well, tomorrow is the beginning of the Aaron Nola era here in Philadelphia. Phillies been selling special ticket packages, 2 for $27. And I'm sure there are going to be a lot of fans who may have only come to a few games this year who are going to be here tomorrow to watch Aaron pitch for the first time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Aaron was at the ballpark today for the first time, getting a chance to greet his teammates. That must be a wonderful scene to watch that for the first time.
Yeah. When
a guy arrives like we did with Hunter Pence. Remember we saw Hunter Pence come? I don't know if you weren't here, Matt. I'll show you the video. But this is the scene today with all the members of the Philadelphia media chatting with Aaron. Jack McCaffrey's got a good seat. Rachel has a good seat next to him. 2-1 pitch. up high 3-1. Murph had the best seat next to him. Murph was talking to him today. Murph, what did he have to say? Is he excited about it?
You know what, Tom? He's very excited, but you know what? You really have to sit there and listen to his words to find out if he's excited, because he's a very low-key kind of guy. And what I was so impressed by is, with all the fanfare, as Freddie Galvis takes a walk, with all the fanfare surrounding his arrival here, and the media, the media was 3 deep interviewing him today in the dugout. He just seemed to take it all in stride. And, if there's a guy that's not going to feel the pressure, although he admitted he'll be a little nervous tomorrow night, but if there's a guy that's not going to feel the pressure of all the accolades that have been placed on him, I think it's a guy like Aaron Nola. I mean, it remains to be seen what he's able to do at the major league level, but it certainly doesn't look like he's going to be a guy that's going to crack under the pressure.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wonder if it's partly because college is totally different than the pros, but he pitched at a big-time college program, some big-time games.
Yeah, he talked about pitching on a Friday night at LSU. That bunt goes foul. And, how the fans were right on top of him, and certainly not as big as a major league ballpark, but the fans right on top, and he called it electric, and how he fed off of that and how much he enjoyed that. And, he said, tomorrow night it's going to be a little bit different in a major league ballpark. He hopes there's lots of fans here, and he's going to feed off of that. But again, he just seems to be taking it as the next step in his progression on his way to being a major league ballplayer.
Well, I think we're all looking forward to it. It's tomorrow. He'll be opposed by Nathan Carnes, not Nate, Nathan Carnes. 0-1 to Odubel with a runner at first. His numbers, he's combined 10-4 with an ERA under 3. The only reason his ERA is over 3 with Lehigh Valley was his last start. I think at that point he had a pretty good idea that he was coming up. Chopper back toward the middle, and Beckham gets to the second base bag. Surprised they were able to turn 2 on that. So it is a double play, 6-3 on the DP. And 2 away for Cameron Rupp. Cameron's 0 for 2. Popped out, flied out. Check swing.
Tim Beckham showed a very strong throw right there.
Yeah, it's the only way you can get a Herrera on a play like that. Out toward right field. Sizemore on the run toward the line, out of play. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Braves lead the Dodgers 5-4. Holy cow! Nick Markakis is homered.
The drought is over.
Got a home run and a double in that game. All he needed was the All-Star break, Matt, to get some lifting in. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Check swing. Not a bad pitch there. It's 2-2.
I'd like to see Cameron hit this ball to right center. Keep that front hip in a little longer.
The front hip did open up.
Opened up.
Yep. And the Phillies are retired here in the 6th. So 6 in the books here at Philadelphia. We'll go to the 7th. Phillies enjoying a 3-run lead. now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. It's 5-2. Phillies on top as we go to the 7th inning. Logan Forsythe has a 2-run double for the Rays, but the big story is David Buchanan, who has a 5-2 lead. Cesar Hernandez has helped with that with a 2-run double. Phillies have also scored 5 of those runs with 2 outs. That's a pretty big deal, the way they've been swinging lately. They've been better. Here's Kiermaier. He's 1 for 2. He doubled his first time up. Another off-speed pitch. Out toward the alley in left center field. Herrera dives for it. I don't know if that was the best idea. Kiermaier can run, and he's already around second, heading to third. And he will have his 10th triple of the year. Well, they have a 3-run lead. It just, from our vantage point, it didn't look like he had a chance to get it.
Yeah, he had no chance. Especially the way he's slicing away from Herrera. He's playing on the pull side. You keep a slice away. He'll learn.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you played into a single. You played on the bounce, and now you keep a double play in order. I
kept peeking to see if Kiermaier was going to, like you said before, try for second on that if he had played it on one hop.
Right.
Casale hits it foul toward the Rays dugout. It's 0-1. He is grounded to short. He is struck out. There is bullpen action for the Phils. Swing 0-2. Well, tonight, even though the Phils have a 3-run lead, there have been 3 odd decisions that they've made that have been under their control. Michael trying to go to second.
Yep.
Darren Ruff getting lost around the first base bag.
Correct.
Tried to get Frank Gore home after that happened. And Odubel diving for that ball right there. Sometimes those plays come back and haunt you. Let's hope that's not the case here. All on aggressiveness. And now the 1-2 pitch. Just missed. It's 2-2. I'm with David Buchanan. But he's established a very small strike zone.
Yep. He hasn't called a lot of fastballs inside the right-handers tonight.
Got him. A high fastball. And 1 out. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They were to receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal. Well, that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. Bob McClure is heading out. Well, that's because a pinch hitter is coming up. Brendan Geyer will pinch hit for Colomé. Geyer, whose dad played tennis at Rider University in Lawrence, New Jersey, was born in Westchester, PA, but grew up down in Virginia. And then went to the University of Virginia. Matt, we got 6 1/3 by a Phillies right-handed starting pitcher.
And the last time, Scott Fransky told us this before the game, the last time a right-handed pitcher has gone 6 1/3 innings, May 14th was the last time.
Well, David's also been waiting to try to snap a consecutive winless streak. I'm shocked that there are that many guys that are on that list. 15 games dating back to last year without a victory. 15 starts, I should say. No, he's not the most. It's not the most in Phillies history. The most in Phillies history is Matt Beach back in '97. Actually, 96 and 97. He won 22 straight starts without a win.
Ouch.
Runner at third, one man down. Geyer hitting .260. Lost the bat.
Not enough pine tar.
Yeah.
Or too much pine tar, not enough stick.
Well, David Buchanan has 3 1-2-3 innings tonight. Every time the Phillies pitchers do that, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. One ball, one strike to Geyer. Fly ball toward right field, slicing foul. Mike Buchholder, Phillies head groundskeeper, has the best view of that foul ball. A lot of papers on that desk, Michael. You got to clean it up a little bit.
There he is.
Get your feet off the desk too. If your kids did that at home, Mike, you'd be really upset if their feet were up on the table.
He should be up in the booth with us.
One ball and 2 strikes. Another foul ball, and it remains 1-2. Kiermaier tripled to lead off the top of the 7th inning. That one's blooped out to center field. It'll drop in front of Herrera, and a run will score. So an RBI single, pinch hit single for Geyer. It's now a 5-3 ball game. Well, Odubel misplaying that ball to start the inning has led to the run, and it's also led to David Buchanan's exit. So 6 1/3 for Buchanan, and the Phillies will go to the bullpen. It looked like they signaled for the lefty Jake Diekman, who was the only one at that point warming up. Garcia had sat down. So a pitching change here in Philadelphia. The Phils lead is down to 2. David Buchanan will head to the dugout. baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or your tablet. David Buchanan congratulated by Bob McClure after 6 of the third. David is extremely competitive, and he obviously wanted to stay in the game and maybe get one more batter. It was supposed to be Sizemore, but it's going to be Joey Butler, who has been the designated hitter on a lot of nights for the Tampa Bay Rays. Jake Diekman is the new pitcher. 39th game for Diekman, 2-1 with a 5.24 ERA. Butler hits it foul over the dugout. 286, 6 home runs, 21 runs batted in for Joey Butler. Looks like Mr. T. Over his last 16 games, he's made 10 starts. He's hitting just a $111. He can strike out with the best of them. He's got power, obviously, but he can strike out. Broke his bat, loops it, foul territory, and it's 1-2.
There's that Allison, that ball girl down the left field line. She's got some speed, good quickness, good hands.
Matt, you got to be on your toes if you're going to be a ball girl.
That's true.
Looked like she just said, I was on it. Fastball upstairs, 2-2. Diekman is going to more of a slide step on a lot of pitches now, trying to get command of all of his pitches. The fastball, the slider, everything. He's got so much talent. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got it with a slider. And there's that talent. 2 outs here in the 7th. And here comes Pete McCann. That's going to be it for Diekman.
Well, the advantage of having a slide step and throwing 97, 98 is that guys get rushed in there, and all of a sudden you drop that slider on you. You've already committed to thinking it's a heater, and that's why you're getting the swing and misses, sliders in the dirt.
All right, so Diekman's done after getting the one batter. Here comes Luis Garcia. So another pitching change for the Phils, trying to get through the 7th inning. For Pat Burrell's Wall of Fame night on July 31st with a look back at his career with the Phils that began with a #1 overall pick and ended with a parade down Broad Street. Plus, see what all the buzz about Phillies outfield prospect Aaron Altair is. Phillies Clubhouse presented by Mercedes-Benz tonight at 11 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, another pitching change for the Phillies. They'll bring in Luis Garcia. Now, this is probably just one out, and that's it for Garcia because the pitcher spot is due to start the bottom of the 7th inning. Now, Ken Giles probably can't go today considering he's pitched so much the last few days.
He probably wants to.
Yeah.
But
here's Logan Forsythe with the runner at first. He takes high, 1-0. Fastball in there. That's a foul ball. Fortunate for Garcia. It ran in on the hands of Forsythe. Cody Ashley tossing it into the crowd. Runner goes. Throw to second base is wide. And a stolen base. 10th stolen base for Geyer, so he's in scoring position. Chopper off the foot of Forsythe. Be nice to get Forsythe here with Longoria on deck. Here's Longoria. That is Jake McGee, the left-hander. Last we saw him here at Citizens Bank Park, Jim Thome was going yard on a game winner back in 2012. 2-2 pitch. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. He went after the slider. Garcia gets Forsythe on strikes after Jake Diekman got Butler on strikes. We'll stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies maintaining a lead. go to the bottom of the 7th inning. HP's new series of color laser jet printers deliver unmatched quality, and their jet intelligent toner cartridges print up to 1/3 more pages. Get yours from who? But WB Mason today and experience the difference. Nobody beats WB on HP. Got a couple changes for the Rays as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Geyer stays in to play right field. And Xavier Cedeno. Well, where'd he come from? Jake McGee was warming up. So Cedeno's the new pitcher. Xavier, Matt.
Xavier.
Not Xavier. Xavier.
Anyway, he's got 4 pitches. Fastball 88 to 91. Wow, guy doesn't throw 97. Slider, cut fastball, and a curveball.
Dominic Brown is going to pitch hit for Luis Garcia. Jenmar Gomez is warming in the pen. And Dominic swings at the first pitch and rolls a base hit into right center field. Leadoff single here in the 7th.
What, D. Brown?
There's Gomez. Cesar Hernandez. See if Cesar lays down a bunt here. Longoria's creeping into 3rd. He bunts, and he bunts it foul. All right, so is that a bunt for a hit or is it supposed to be a sacrifice?
That's bunt for a base hit. AKA, if you don't get a hit, you get a sacrifice.
This time he made bunt for a sacrifice. Yes, no?
He could, yeah, he could. I mean,
although he does have 2 hits tonight.
Right, and there's so many options. Swinging the bat well, hit and run. And he's bunting, sacrificing.
Nope. It did look like he was starting to move his hands.
Might be a different situation. 4-3 ball game. 5-3.
One ball, one strike. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser is still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. Throw to second base is in time. Dominic Brown thinks he got his hand in before the tag. Now, it was a wide slide by Dominic with his hands.
Doesn't matter what he wants, so they lost the challenge earlier.
Well,
right?
they can still request it, though. They can request
they
it.
can.
Yeah, they can. At this point in the game, 7th inning.
There's no tag.
Yeah, he's safe. Cesar's got to get out of the box, though, if they want to request it.
That glove never touches his right hand.
Never touched him. Chopper left side. Now, if they request it, the umpires do not have to look at it. Before, they had to look at it. Well, here's Ben. Ben's 0 for 3. He's reached base safely in 13 of his last 14. That could come to an end tonight. And a breaking ball. It's 0-1. Beers in the hole, 1-2. The Fanatic would like that ball from Tucker, but it's not going to go to him. Over to the right side. And Logan Forsythe to his left throws him out. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. We have played 7. We'll move to the 8th inning. Genmar Gomez will be the new pitcher when we return. The Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Valle Honda dealer or visit DelValleHondaDealers.com today. Look at the Fanatic. The camera can do it, so why can't the Fanatic do it? Fanatic wants everybody to try. Well, the Phillies lead at 5-3 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. It's time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game. Maikel Franco, this was an outstanding play.
It was. There was a hot shot from Tim Beckham. Hit Franco's left. All-out dive. What was very impressive was getting up and throwing an absolute missile to first base and making a very easy play. And that's your defensive play brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Nice job, Matt.
Thank you.
Here's Genmar Gomez, 40th game, 0-2, a 2.44 ERA. So Diekman, a strikeout, only faced 1 batter. Garcia, a strikeout, only faced 1 batter. Maybe a little heavier lifting here for Gomez, although I bet you Papelbon, if there's any trouble, would start to warm up. Longoria leads it off, and he hits the first pitch to third. A big room service hot for Franco and a high throw. Now Longoria did take a step towards second, but he'll get back to the bag. That'll be an E5. That's the first time we've seen, remember earlier on we talked about Franco getting underneath throws.
A couple of crow hops and just airmails it.
All right, so Longoria is at first, and here's James Loney. Two lefties coming up in a row with Loney and DeJesus. But it is Gomez with that changeup, sinker mix that stays out there. Just a bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Nice to see a good two-seamer right here.
Line drive caught by Cesar. And one out.
That was a good two-seamer, but I was going to say is hit it on the ground to second base.
Yeah. David DeJesus. David peeked over Charlie Montoyo, the third base coach. See what signs he was throwing out there. Longoria has stolen 3 bases. He used to be a little bit more of a threat to run. Short lead off first. Fly ball left field. Ben Revere, a few steps from the track, makes the catch. Longoria is going to challenge his arm and then stop. That's right, a little different scouting report for Ben in left field. And there are 2 outs.
Not sure who it was on the field, but was yelling tagging. Good communication. I like this. Ben got behind it and he aired it out.
So it keeps Longoria over at first, and now John Jaso will be the pinch hitter. One of 3 catchers on the roster for the Rays. Out in front of an off-speed pitch, 0-1.
The American League has such an advantage of, not just because of the DH, but you can get away with having 3 catchers on your roster. You know, and then if you want to hit with your catcher in the late in the game, you can, because you always have backups.
Yeah, particularly if they're good hitters.
Yes.
Well, I shouldn't say that. Particularly if one maybe is a good defender and the other one's a good hitter, you can use the one pinch hit and the other one if you need to in certain games to go in for defense. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He got him. Boy, he was so off balance with every pitch that Gomez threw. Side is retired. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 man left. We're through 7.5. Genmar Gomez's first opportunity for a hold in a big spot in a game, and he comes through. chance to play with one of your favorite Phillies player or players. 5 days, 4 nights, January 20th till the 24th, 2016 in Clearwater. The package includes hotel accommodations, practice and instruction from guys like the Bull, John Kruk, Mike Lieberthal, Mickey Morandini, fantasy game versus the Legends at Bright House Networks Field, or Bright House Field, I should say. Phillies uniform and so much more. Call 610-520-3400. Space is limited, so you want to hop on it right away. Now changes for the Rays. Jake Elmore will take over at shortstop. And the new pitcher is Steve Geltz. Saw him during spring training. And he'll face Maikel Franco. It'll be Franco, Francoeur, and Darren Ruff. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Jonathan Papelbon starts to warm in the pen. That one's hit toward the hole, cut off by Longoria. Boy, he is good over there.
One thing I've noticed about Longoria over his career is that he's very smooth. He never panics. Very laid back. You know, and he has that little swag. He's a very good third baseman.
Well, he better be, because they got him signed for a long time.
They do.
Francoeur takes high and away. It's 1-0. He signed through the year 2022.
Yeah, but the contract he signed for nowadays is a joke
I
for
agree.
him.
15-year contract.
I mean, Tampa's just, yeah, that's. But he signed that right. Didn't he sign it?
It's been a few years. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, he wasn't very long in the league when he signed it, was he?
Well, it was probably middle of the 07 season, 08, before the 08 year. Fouled back because it is 15 years and it runs out till 2022.
Yeah.
Two and 1. High fly ball. That's way up there. Center field. Kiermaier makes the catch. 2 outs. Darren Ruff's coming up. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Presented by St. Joe's University. And it appears another top prospect in Major League Baseball is going to make his Major League debut. That will be tomorrow for the St. Louis Cardinals. Steven Piscotty is being reported to being called up. Now, Piscotty just started playing first base in games on July the 10th down in the minor leagues, but that's where he's expected to play for the St. Louis Cardinals. They're not getting a whole lot of production out of first base, so they're going to bring him up, give him a chance to see what he can do over there, so he'll make his debut on Tuesday. He was originally drafted as a third baseman. And the Pirates got what is deemed to be good news on Jordy Mercer after being taken out by that slide by Carlos Gomez. At second base, they thought he was going to be out for the rest of the season. They're being told that maybe 6 weeks now. A sprained MCL is the injury for Mercer. But when they think it's good news that it's only 6 weeks that he's going to be out, you know what kind of collision that was down there at second base. If you saw it, it certainly was ugly as Ruff flies out to end the inning. So good news for the Pirates, only going to miss Mercer for 6 weeks, guys.
All right, Murph, we're going to go to the 9th inning. I really thought you were going to put Canada's gold medal in the Pan Am Games as part of your Major League Notebook just to appease Matt Stairs.
There will be an addendum later on.
We go to the top of the 9th inning. Here comes Papelbon. Phillies lead it by 2. We'll be back right after this. just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Andres Blanco will take over at third base. Well, I hope Maikel Franco's okay. No offense to Andres, but I wouldn't imagine they would take him out for defense. Jonathan Papelbon will take over on the mound, 35th game. Papelbon, 340 saves, 13th all-time. Save situation here, trying to tie Raleigh Fingers. Kevin Kiermaier, who has 2 hits tonight, will lead it off. Franco did not look great after he made that throw. He went down, put both hands on his knees.
Yeah.
Freddie Galvis came over, gave him a breather. When he grounded out, it looked like something was ailing him as he was running up the line. 0-1 pitch to Kiermaier. Out of play, 0-2. Here's Franco on that ground out. Well, he did kind of shut it down halfway down, but it looked like there's something. He was limping a little bit, didn't it, Matt?
Yeah, yeah. Noticed something on the throw on the air.
Another foul ball, and it remains 0-2. This is when Galvis was talking to him at third. Hands on knees. Man, he plays every inning.
How old is he?
22.
Thank you.
Popped up. Andres over toward the rail, and he's out of play. Or it's out of play, and it remains 0-2. Pap was greeted by some boos again as he came into the ballpark. I don't think that's going to change until he's no longer with the Phils.
I agree.
Ruben Amaro was saying today that he's not worried about his frame of mind because he thinks that once he's out there, he's not thinking about being traded. He's just thinking about closing the game out because that's the competitor he is. And I would definitely agree with that. Nice play on a hop by that gentleman. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. In there for a called strike 3. Boy, he snuck a fastball right on the inner half. Kiermaier's down, looking one away.
Fastball way after away after away, and then all of a sudden he comes in with the fastball inside, freezes him. Good location, good height. Nice pitch. And I honestly believe the more he gets booed, the better he is.
Kind of feeds off it.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, whether you agree with what he said or what he has said, it's not just one thing. He does say what he wants, and he's always been that way. Swing and a miss with a slider. It's 0-1. Phillies are trying to win their 4th consecutive game to start the second half. Don't forget they had a 6-game winning streak early on this year in May. 92 upstairs, 0-2. He's gotten ahead of the first 2 hitters, no balls and 2 strikes. In fact, he hasn't thrown one out of the strike zone yet. He may do that here just to show something. Although he could just go right after Casale. It was 0 for 3. He has K'd twice tonight. Got him. He went right after him. Back-to-back strikeouts. 93. And Papelbon is 1 out away from tying Rollie Fingers, the Hall of Famer, on the all-time saves list.
I like it. They're elevating the fastball. Swings right underneath it. Rollie Fingers?
Rollie Fingers, Hall of Famer. For 12th place. Geyer's up, and the pitch to him. Swing and a miss. Well, now it's getting silly. That's 10 pitches, 10 strikes. Geyer singled his last time up, his only time up, RBI single. Here's the 0-1 pitch. No balls and 2 strikes. $20,148 on the eve of Aaron Nola making his major league debut. The Phils are trying to close the door on their 4th consecutive win. Jonathan Papelbon is trying to save it for David Buchanan, who went 6 1/3. He's ready. Geyer's ready. The 0-2 pitch coming. Hit foul. And remains 0-2. After the game, Ricky Metallico will give his analysis of the series opener against the Rays, only on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post-Game Live. No balls and 2 strikes.
Let's see if they climb the ladder again. Nope, they're going with the off-speed pitch.
Pap's ready. And he chops it foul.
It's always amazing how you watch the catchers. The catcher sets up low, his butt's closer to the ground. He's looking for an off-speed pitch. Sits up higher, makes him quicker left and right to block a fastball in the dirt.
25 saves lifetime against the Rays, trying to get number 26. Pitch number 14 in the inning. Ground ball toward the hole, cut off by Galvis. Throws off balance in time, and the Phillies have won 4 straight ball games. Not only that, but David Buchanan's 15-start winless streak is over. He gets his first victory of the season as the Phillies win it 5-3 over the Tampa Bay Rays. Jonathan Papelbon threw 14 pitches in this 9th inning. All 14 went for strikes. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And he joins Rollie Fingers on the all-time saves list with 341. Rather impressive feats. Our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. Cesar Hernandez jumped right on the new pitcher for a 2-run double.
Well, Matt Moore was in there, throws a first pitch fastball, cracks a 2-run double down the left field corner, being very aggressive after a visit from...
That's what I was about to say.
The pitching coach knows that he's going to get a first pitch fastball. That's why that's the delivery of the game, brought to you by the W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
You know, and hitters, you know this better than anybody. Sometimes when a coach goes out after guys had trouble with the strike zone, coach says, hey, man, just throw him a fastball, try to throw a strike. And for a hitter, sometimes you know that you say, I'm going to hunt for a fastball right there.
Well, it is, and you want to be aggressive as a hitter, especially with bases loaded. And that pitcher wants to be aggressive by getting ahead with his best pitch.
Right.
That situation, his best pitch is his fastball. But the problem is Hernandez's best pitch to hit is a heater. He won the battle. Very nice.
Well, David Buchanan is our Chevrolet player of the game for his 6 1/3 tonight. Matt, it's the first time since May 14th that a right-hander's gone at least 6 1/3 for the Phils.
First inning I thought was very important for him. Got into some trouble. He only threw 20 pitches in the first inning to get out of it. But later on he settled down. I thought he was very good tonight with his changeup. His velocity came up later in the game. He was about 88, 89, topped out at 92 today. But I thought his best pitch when he needs to throw a pitch and get a swing and miss was his changeup. And it's nice to see that the consecutive 15 starts are over with.
Well, David Buchanan now 1-5 in the year. Could have picked up a victory his last time out, went 5 innings, and he left with a 4-1 lead. Bullpen couldn't hold it. But tonight, as Matt said, he battled through the first inning to go 6 1/3 before the bullpen took over, and he's down on the field with Greg Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. And Tom just used the word battled through the early part of this game, but to get to 6 1/3, and that's exactly what it was, but you seem to settle down and really start to find your groove.
Yeah, the first two, my arm felt a little live, like I was just jumping out, didn't have too much control. Mechanically, I didn't really feel like, in sync. And so after that second inning, I really kind of made sure what I was doing. I went and looked at some film, and I had to make sure I was staying back. So I had to work things mechanically, but I told myself mentally, all right, that's it. That's all they get. We'll get back in the zone, and we'll see what happens. Like, stop trying to be so good. Just throw strikes.
Just go out there and throw it. Yeah, and that's exactly what it looked like you did. And you get your first win of the year, which, hey, long time coming for you this year, but that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it feels really good. I said a couple months ago, I mean, the biggest thing for me is, like, I want my team to be confident when I take the mound, and that's all I'm trying to do is, step on the bump and have my team ready to play behind me with confidence. And that's all I'm trying to do every time I go out there.
Well, they had 3 wins in a row. They hand you the ball, now 4 wins in a row. I would imagine feels pretty good to keep that rolling as well, because in that clubhouse, they've got a good thing going right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 4 in a row. We're not getting too caught up on that. I mean, we definitely, notice it, but we're kind of thinking about like golf, it's the second half. Fresh start, 0-0, so we're trying, take off from here and keep going.
Hey, undefeated in the second half. That's the way to do it. David, congratulations on your first win of the year. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. On the day that Zach Johnson won the Open, David Buchanan makes a golf reference to help the Phils to a 5-3 victory here tonight. We'll be back to wrap things up from Citizens Bank Park right after this.